Thank you, and good evening, everyone. So we already heard 2 or 3 times things like the free web and the web3 and stuff like that. Let me go a little bit into what is that and why we actually need that. So when we look at the internet as we see it today, this is called the Web 2 mostly, right? So the Web 2, when we look at it, it looks very centralized actually. We have a couple of companies normally called the GAFAs, and they accumulated a whole lot of power. And this is also actually a very unhealthy lot of power that was accumulated there. And that is not good for society. This is especially not good for data privacy, but also this has an impact on all our businesses because we don't really have chances because they are so big, they have so much money, they have so much users, they have so much developers that we actually can't work without them or against them. So if bright ideas come up, they are probably not getting financed because some others are there who say we have billions of users already. And this is why a couple of years ago, some pretty smart people got together and said, actually, we have to change that. We have to go to a more decentralized version of the web. And this is what we normally call the Web 3.0 or the Web 3. Now, which issues does that tackle? So first of all, we tackle the issue of that the GAFAs or the big companies actually own the users. They lock in the users. And this is your Facebook ID or your Google ID and stuff like that. And the idea behind that is that the company grows with a number of users that it controls, and then that those users never leave the company basically, and we have to decentralize that. This is what my company KILT is working on. Then you have the problem that those companies also own the network, right? They have the AWS, they have the Google cloud, they have the Azure from Microsoft. So it's also there is a concentration of power there. And this is where projects like Filecoin are working against, right? So this is also a part of the Web3. Then another part of the Web3 is actually the data part, which is also very important. Those companies accumulate a whole lot of data and do AI on that and become better and better with this AI. And other companies can't just afford to get all this data from the users. A very good example for that is actually Google Mail. So everybody uses Google Mail. It's really practical and it doesn't seem to cost anything. Of course, it costs something. You pay with your data, right? And Google is analyzing all the data which comes in through Gmail and accumulates a lot of power with that. So this is also something where we have to work against. And this is where Bruce Pond and his company are actually working on. He's next speaking here. But Google Mail is actually quite a nice example. When you look at Google Mail, could you do something like that? Probably not. You need millions of servers or thousands of servers, and this is a huge investment, and then you have to maintain them, and then you have to put energy into them. So how can Google actually afford to do this just for collecting data? And here we come to the fourth part. And the fourth part is actually, where do those guys actually get the money from? And this is from advertising. Advertising, like 20 years ago, the whole money went into publishers like TV stations, newspapers, magazines, and all that. And this greatly shifted into the digital world. And there's good reason that this happened, because it's actually pretty good for the advertisers because it's measurable. You can see how many people actually saw your ad. In the magazine, you can't do that. You have targeting, which you don't have that good in TV. And you also have a direct feedback. So you have communication with your customer, which is absolutely great. So there's good reason that it went into digital, but there's actually no good reason that it went only to 2 or 3 companies in the world. And this is actually what we're talking about today. How can we facilitate that this ends? And this is what the Fractal Protocol is actually about. So have fun today.